So today I'm going to show you a few of my favorite little drills to help you improve your chipping. So chipping is one of those areas that if you could just chip it that little bit better and hit the ball a little closer to the hole, it's definitely going to have an impact on lowering your score. And the thing I see most people doing when they are chipping, they're actually hitting mini pitch shots. Chipping and pitching are totally different ideas. So a pitch shot goes in the air for a long time, lands and stops relatively quickly. Chip shots, or as a lot of Americans call it, the bump and run, chip shots go low and they are in the air for a short time and then they roll out a lot more. So most of bad chipping that I see is caused by the club rising through impact. If we can just keep that club descending through impact, not taking a divot, but certainly brushing the grass post impact, that's going to lead to better contact and hit better chips. So one of the first little drills I'm going to show you just uses a golf tee. And I'm going to slip a tee in the ground, and that's probably up about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to try and hit this chip shot, keeping the club low after impact, and my intention is to try and hit that golf tee. What most people do is they get the club hitting the ground 2 to 3 inches behind the ball. They then rise with the club and the club will not touch the golf tee at all. So this is one you can do in the backyard. I'm not really worried about where I'm finishing here. I'm really just thinking about my contact. So I'm going to hit the chip, and you can see there that the club definitely hit the tee and it stalled because I hit the tee. But that was pretty good contact, and that's a simple one that you can do just to encourage you to keep the club lower for longer. So I'll do it again. So the tee's about a quarter of an inch off the ground. That's probably up a bit high, makes it a bit easy. We just want to keep the club low through impact. That was a bad one. I hit behind the ball and the club jumped over the tee, so the tee was untouched. We always want to make sure that we hit the tee. So it's just keeping that club descending through impact, trying to hit that tee, and you can see there that the club has hit the tee's come out of the ground, and I made good solid contact. So that's the first little exercise. So regular viewers to this channel know I'm a big fan of one-handed golf shots, not on a golf course, but when in training. So the other one I like to do with a lot of clients is just to hit one-handed chip shots. And what I'll normally see happen is people are trying to manipulate the loft of the club, trying to get the ball in the air. When we're hitting a one-handed chip, we want to feel like my wrist is staying on the same angle, or imagine a plaster of Paris bandage wrapped around my wrist so it can't move. As I said, once again, I'm not too worried about where the ball's finishing. This is purely a contact exercise. So if I just hit the chip shot, I've made good solid contact. You could hear it was crisp. It's a good way of practicing. And the moment I start manipulating with my hands, I hit behind the ball, I rose, and that was a duff chip. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of duff chips out there. So the more we can just chip one-handed, trying to keep the wrist firmer through the shot, good crisp contact again, and then we would progress to then hitting one with two hands, but feeling that my right hand was staying on that angle. I don't want this type of movement. So I feel like my right hand is the only hand on the club, and then I hit a much crisper, better chip shot. So if you can do that on a regular basis, it's definitely going to help you make better contact and hit your ball closer to the hole. So the third mistake I see people make when they're hitting poor chip shots is they get very short, sharp and quick. In particular, their backswing is very short and the whole swing is very quick. We should have a bit of a tempo. Your tempo with your chip shots should match the tempo with your putting stroke. And I would like to see people taking a slightly longer backswing, only slightly, not massively, just a slightly longer backswing than they currently do. And then we just let the club fall onto the ball. So if we can do that and we have nice rhythm with it, it's going to help get a nice crisp result. Now that to me feels like I'm taking the club back an awful long way, but as you can see, I'm not. But certainly when I think about the mistakes I'd made when I was playing for a living, get under a little bit of pressure and you know it's a tough chip shot, I always used to get a little bit short. So if you can just work on taking that club back that little bit further, it does help make crisp contact and you're going to get a little bit more roll out of it and a lot more consistent contact. If we can get that ball to finish closer to the hole, it's going to lower your score because it's easier to make a 5-foot putt than a 10-foot putt. Statistics back that out. So I've produced a handout which is my keys to chipping, and it's going to help you chip better. So if you want to download that, it's a free download. I'll put a link at the top of the screen there for you to download it. Also, if you want to improve your chipping, I'm also going to put a link to another video just up there that I know is going to help you improve your chipping.